What causes implantation bleeding?
Hello, and welcome. Today, we're going to be discussing a topic that many people who are trying to conceive might find interesting and important: implantation bleeding. It's a phenomenon that occurs early in pregnancy and can often be a source of confusion.
What is implantation bleeding?
Implantation bleeding is a form of spotting or light bleeding that some women might experience in the early stages of pregnancy, specifically when the fertilized egg, or embryo, attaches to the lining of the uterus. It's one of the first signs of pregnancy and occurs about 6 to 12 days after conception.
What causes implantation bleeding?
The cause of implantation bleeding is directly linked to the process of pregnancy itself. When a sperm fertilizes an egg, the resulting embryo travels down the fallopian tube and into the uterus. The uterus has prepared a thick lining of blood and tissue, ready to support a potential pregnancy. When the embryo arrives in the uterus, it burrows or implants itself into this uterine lining. This process can disturb some of the blood vessels in the lining, causing a small amount of blood to be released. This blood is what we refer to as implantation bleeding. It's important to note that not all women will experience implantation bleeding. It's also typically lighter and of a different color than menstrual bleeding, often being described as pink or brown rather than the bright red of a period.
How to differentiate implantation bleeding from menstrual bleeding?
A key feature of implantation bleeding is its timing. It generally occurs before the time a menstrual period would normally start, usually about a week before. It's also typically lighter, less consistent, and of shorter duration than a menstrual period. However, the color, flow, and timing can vary from woman to woman, which can sometimes lead to confusion. If you are unsure, it's always a good idea to consult with a healthcare provider. And that's a brief overview of what causes implantation bleeding. It's a natural part of the early stages of pregnancy, resulting from the embryo attaching itself to the uterine wall. It's important to remember that every woman's body is unique and not everyone will experience implantation bleeding. If you have concerns or further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your healthcare provider. We hope this video has been informative and helpful in understanding the process of early pregnancy. Thanks for watching.